All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about a creature that seems like it was designed by a committee of mad scientists. It's one of nature's most extreme, most fascinating, and frankly, most ridiculous predators, the mantis shrimp.
But right off the bat, we've got to clear something up about the name. You see those claws? They look just like a praying mantis, right? Well, despite that, it is not a mantis.
And even though it has that familiar-looking body, it's not a shrimp either, not even a distant cousin. This animal belongs to its own totally unique group, the stomatopods, which split off from other crustaceans about 400 million years ago. They've been on their own evolutionary path for a very, very long time.
So what in the world is this thing? Well, that's what we're here to figure out. In this explainer, we're going to break down the absolutely mind-bending biology of this animal and see why it's a true masterpiece of evolution. So first up, its secret weapons. You have to understand, the mantis shrimp has been ruthlessly fine-tuned for one thing, and one thing only: hunting.
And that fine-tuning has led them down two main paths. On one side, you've got the smashers. These guys are the brawlers. They hunt hard-shelled prey like crabs and snails, and they've evolved these unbelievable hammer-like clubs. On the other side, you have the spearers. They're more like assassins, hiding in sandy burrows to ambush soft-bodied prey like fish with these terrifying, barbed spears. Now for today, we're going to focus on the smashers, because that's where things get absolutely bonkers.
So picture this. You're a smasher. You're surrounded by food, but it's all locked up in what is essentially natural armor. That's the first big problem you have to solve.
Or, to put it another way, how in the world do you shatter a clam shell underwater with a club that's only about the size of your thumb? The answer? Pure, unadulterated, explosive biomechanics. The smasher's strike accelerates at 10,400 Gs. Let me put that in perspective for you. That is an acceleration comparable to a .22 caliber bullet being fired from a gun. It is one of the fastest movements in the entire animal kingdom. And here's the kicker. It's way too fast to be powered by muscle alone. So, how do they do it?
They use an incredible system called latch-mediated spring actuation. Just think of it like a biological crossbow or a catapult. Step 1, charge. It uses big, slow muscles to compress a spring-like part of its own exoskeleton, storing up a huge amount of potential energy. Step 2, lock. A tiny little latch clicks into place, holding all that energy back. Step 3, release. A small muscle contracts just enough to flick that latch open. And finally, step 4, fire. All that stored energy is released in an instant, creating an unbelievably explosive strike. It's evolution's way of cheating the speed limit of muscle.
But wait, it gets even crazier. The punch is so fast that it creates a whole other weapon out of thin air, or, well, out of water. The club moves so quickly that it literally vaporizes the water in front of it, forming a bubble. This is a phenomenon called cavitation, and when that bubble collapses a split second later, it produces a powerful shockwave that blasts the prey a second time. This secondary strike is so strong it can stun or kill the target, even if the main punch misses. It's a 2-for-1 weapon system.
Okay, so you can see the new problem this creates. If you can punch hard enough to break seashells and boil water, how do you keep from shattering your own weapon into a million pieces every single time you use it?
Well, the secret is an absolutely brilliant piece of natural engineering called the Bouillongan structure. The best way to think about it is like a stack of plywood, but with a twist. It's made of layers and layers of chitin fibers, but each layer is rotated just slightly. So when a crack starts to form from an impact, it can't just shoot straight through. It's forced to twist and turn its way through the spiral, which dissipates the energy and stops the club from just falling apart. It's genius.
And if we look closer, that club is actually a multi-layered marvel. On the very outside, you have the impact region. It's made of a hard, ceramic-like material, perfect for the initial hit. Right underneath that, you've got the periodic region, and that's where you find that crack-stopping Bouillongan structure. And then, wrapping around the whole thing is the striated region, with fibers that act like nature's duct tape, holding the entire club together so it doesn't split open. It's a perfect self-healing composite material.
All right, let's shift gears from physical weapons to sensory ones. The next big challenge for a mantis shrimp is this. How do you navigate the chaotic, colorful world of a coral reef and communicate with your own kind without alerting every predator in the neighborhood? The answer is, you evolve what might be the most complex visual system on planet Earth. This simple chart says it all. We humans, we have 3 types of color photoreceptors. Red, green, and blue. A mantis shrimp? it has between 12 and 16. They are seeing a world of color that we literally cannot even begin to imagine, from deep ultraviolet all the way into far red.
But their real visual superpower is something else entirely. They can see a type of light that is basically invisible to every other animal, circularly polarized light, or CPL. Think of it as light waves that spiral as they travel. It turns out specific parts of the mantis shrimp's body reflect this spiraling light, and they use it for things like mating displays and warning rivals. What this creates is a completely private, totally encrypted communication channel. They can flash signals to each other right in plain sight, and a predator swimming by has absolutely no idea it's even happening.
So, let's recap. We have a tiny creature with a bullet-fast punch, armor that won't shatter, and eyes that see in a secret code. You gotta be thinking, what's the human payoff here? What can we possibly learn from this? Well, it's like the National Institute of Standards and Technology says. Some of the most innovative and useful inventions have been inspired by nature. And believe me, the mantis shrimp is an absolute gold mine of inspiration.
Take that incredible shatterproof club, for example. Well, scientists and engineers are now copying that bully-gun structure to create the next generation of materials. We're talking about impact-resistant parts for spacecraft and satellites, lighter and stronger body armor for soldiers and police, way more protective helmets for athletes, and even blast-resistant materials for buildings. The shrimp's hammer is literally giving us the blueprint to build tougher stuff.
And what about that unbelievable vision system? What could that possibly inspire?
Well, how about advanced cancer detection? It turns out that cancerous tissue scatters polarized light differently than healthy tissue does. So now, by building cameras that can see the world like a mantis shrimp, we're giving surgeons the ability to identify the exact edges of a tumor with incredible accuracy. It helps them spot tiny clusters of cancer cells that the human eye would completely miss. It's a truly life-saving technology, all inspired by this little undersea brawler.
When you step back and look at it, this tiny, ancient predator literally holds the blueprints for some of our most advanced future technologies. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible secrets, what other game-changing solutions are still out there hiding in nature, just waiting for us to find them?